Hampton, he a bit notices a cemetery. Sort of strange. He gets real wired up about it. Real wired up about it. He don't like it at all. This is the Monticello Cemetery. Very nice headstones. Very orderly done. Appears to be a pretty old cemetery. Well, you couldn't ask for a nicer morning. There's little tiny promises things could get cold, but not really that much yet. There's a great old two-story brick house with a dormer. Needs a little paint. Great house though. Big windows, yeah. That's what they should have on all the schools, big windows. So the kids can see the world. Go to Salem, the school's got no windows at all, the new ones. I have to say, Monticello's been one of the nicest towns I've been in Arkansas. Here's a great old house. Brown Calhoun Grocery and Market. Busy tracks there. Alright, but thank you. Here's an old raccoon. So this guy, he writes a comment on the video about Maud, Texas, and he says, no, those logs aren't abandoned. They're going to be trucked and pulped down to somewhere in Texas. They're out of Maud. And you don't know what you're talking about. And I told him, well, you know, this lady lives there in town, told me the logs were abandoned. And they took the mill out, and she didn't know what was going to happen to them, but they're probably no good by now. So I called a few people in the city of Maud, Texas, and I asked them, what's the deal in those logs? And they said, oh, those are being treated for telephone poles. That's why they're all black and sitting there so long, as it takes a long time to treat them. And of course, he didn't mention where all the runoff goes, but anyway, he said they treat them with something like creosote, similar to railroad ties. And so that explains a little bit more of the story. He also said one of the log trucks tried to sneak across the railroad tracks and got cut in half by a train. There's a real busy train track there, I tell you. Here's a great stand of bamboo. Look at that. Good old fire ants. That's a pretty nice house. Nice location. This is the old Florence Road. Heads up to Dumas. Mount Zion Church. Old wood structure. Well, this looks like harvested rice. I said there's a lot grown in Arkansas, long grain. Pavement ends, so we get a dirt road for a while. That's great, appreciate it. This is near the old Union Baptist Church, and it's an old cemetery. Really old stones here. Here's an old house with a chimney and a tin roof burned down. There's an unbelievably nice spot of road. Shade, nice temperature. Really pleasant. There's a trunk of a tree that's used to be in the water, but the tree's dead now. Hard saying what killed it, maybe beetles. This side of the river. Yep, beautiful time of year in Arkansas. Just beautiful. We got a few more days in Arkansas, and we're going to be in Mississippi, and then we're going to be in Tennessee, and then we're going to hot foot it for Knoxville and Virginia. We can get this down to under 2 months left to go. When we get to Tennessee, we're going to be getting into some serious Civil War country. Last time we crossed America on horseback, we come out of, I think it was Illinois or something there, Missouri over the Cairo, the land between the lakes in Tennessee, and there was this thing about a guy who was a sniper, and he shot like, I don't know, 20-some Union soldiers on the river because the Union had killed 2 of his sons. I don't know, caught him and killed him, or what it was, a battle or what. But anyway, so he became a sniper shooting Union soldiers, and there was a monument there on the land between the lakes in that northwest part of Tennessee. Hey ladies. Here the stream's going right down the side of the road, nice clear water or bunches of tadpoles here and there. Beautiful way to travel. Nothing but the squeaking of the saddle. Old Hampton clopping along. Boy, that's beautiful water. A lot of little fish, what we called guppies when we were kids. We loved catching those. Taking them home, put them anywhere we could find some water. Along the road here, there's signs be here and there say leased by so-and-so's hunting club. Stuff like that. I've seen a fish in there, it's about 6 inches long, it's real thin, like a needlefish. Bet you this road was underwater last week. Okay, here's what looks like a water moccasin. I hear these guys up and chase you. Oh boy, yeah, that's probably a water moccasin. That's all black like they said he'd be. There he goes. Here's an empty mobile home. Won't be worth anything after a while. It's been quite a while since it was lived in. There's a ton of tadpoles in here. Look at these guys. Look at that. Off the 277, the 293, on our way to Dumas, Arkansas. Not very many days left in Arkansas. We'll be in Mississippi for a couple days, 3-4 days at the most, and we'll be in Tennessee. There's a nice black horse, Hampton. Wish I could be a good traveling mate. this is rice and soybeans. They grow over here, but this right here is soybeans are harvesting. Of course, they got flooded, but good. All this rain they had this year. Those guys over there are harvesting. Trucks lined up to pick up the beans. There's a brine smell here, just like it was the ocean. Smells good. Gets deep in your nostrils, man. We're a few days from the Mississippi. Yeah, soybeans. They're not in the soybeans. The soybeans might be a total loss. They're in cotton. They got cotton over there. Yeah, cotton. Lots of cotton. And probably soybeans over there, but can't tell for sure. Another 10 miles today. Maybe 7 o'clock at least time we get into Dumas. There's a little skidder operation. Looks like maybe a shear too. Yeah, a little shear down there on the bottom. Mill Creek logging. Well, we don't get a lot of nice Kansas sunsets, but that one's not too bad. Yeah, Arkansas sunsets. Actually, Kansas sunsets are really nice. They're brilliant. But Arkansas sunsets, there haven't been all that many great ones. Arizona, they're wonderful. Wyoming. Oh, really? Well, we just cut through these harvested rice fields to save some time. Got a few miles to go yet to Dumas. Well, this is a cotton gin working at night. Looks like a big old insect. Oh yeah. Here's a cotton bucket coming to reload. Well, Hampton don't know what big sure of all this. And over here on the right, you got tractors coming in with those big bale catchers, and they're dumping off their cotton into one of these big machines, and these machines pack it into these huge loaves, covered over with tarps on top to keep it dry, and then the trucks coming back in under them and pick them up. And there's a guy there, he's building a huge loaf right now. So it just so happens I'm going through these huge cotton yards. There are a bunch of bales over there, but these ones like this over here, sort of surreal because it's obvious they're just getting started, or it's at the end of the game, hard to say. Well, they got different places for different farms, so everybody's got their spot, and we're going to ride up on one of these bales right now just to see how dense they are. Oh boy. So this is what they're like, and they got a cover on them. And they're not all that dense. I mean, they're pretty well packed, but they're not all that dense. But that just give you an idea. And so every farm's got a place here, and they got trucks coming in and out, picking up. Looks like they're picking up loads. And so this is quite an operation here. They have quite a few. Well, they have probably 100 or a couple hundred, maybe more than that, of these stacks of cotton here waiting to be hauled out. They still have the seeds in them. They're all just off the fields like this. All right, there you got it. A truck loaded with a bale. It's a bale truck. They either got one in it or they're going to get one. And this is a cotton gin where all the seeds get ripped out. Big operation. You can sure smell that cotton dust. So those orangey yellow lights, that building there, that's the cotton gin, and they rip the seeds out, and then it all goes in a conveyor, and it goes way over here to the right to another big building where it's being processed more. This is a huge operation. This is in the town of Dumas now. We're headed over to one of the other roads.